So I'm blind. YouTube keeps kicking us off, and I can't watch it and deal with this at the same time. So I'm just going to do it until I get one right. If you're here, put put your name in uh, the chat, and I'll give you some bonus points. One thing that I did want to talk about is that we're going to use Every Circuit, an app called Every Circuit, in a bunch of our classes. We're going to have probably four of them in the first minute, or well, DC and AC definitely, and then probably solid state and digital. So I believe in it enough that I wound up paying $200 to get us like 20 uh, licenses of it for our small laptops at the school. So some of our labs will be on the laptops, and you'll come in, uh, uh, build a circuit in there before we build it, for real in a week or two, and it'll help you intuitively see what's going on with what's inside of that circuit. Okay, so if you're out or um, you know uh, sick and or quarantined and need to do labs, this will be a good way for you to be able to do some of them. So best $15 I ever spent, I would suggest you get it. I'll have some on the laptop so you can come up here and use them, but I'll be using them this as an example for a lot of classes that we have. And excuse me, we'll we'll go from there. So I think this will help us keep rolling through COVID and through tornadoes and through whatever else. I'm gonna keep practicing getting streaming right. But as far as labs are concerned, if you miss a lab uh, because let's say there's a rain or tornado and you're on Tuesday and you miss Tuesday, I've been working on these labs so that you'd probably be able to get most of two of them done during one set of three shifts. Like, I give you a whole lot of extra time to make sure that you don't uh, get behind. Um, so let's say Tuesday is called because of hurricane. If your lab was on a Tuesday, what I'm going to do is I'll open up until 10, 12. I'll probably give you until 11 on Fridays to come in on the morning and, spend a couple hours on whatever you missed, so that between that and, having extra time on your regular shifts, I think you should be able to get it done the next week. Okay, so if your day gets called because of weather, you still have to do that lab. But what'll happen is you'll come in the next week, do the lab of that week, and then you'll probably have enough time to go ahead and do the lab from the previous week in those three shifts that you reserved. If you don't, then you come in on Friday morning and finish it out on at that time. We'll play it by ear. I know that y'all have been real flexible with how things are going with COVID, and if we continue to do that, we should be able to get everything we need done, no matter what life throws at us. All right. So in every circuit, like if you have a lab that needs every circuit, and pretty much everyone's going to, just type in every circuit. It's like $15. If you want to buy it, it'll be on some of the computers in the lab. But let's say I want a DC source, I'll go up here, push, that right there. We'll get used to schematics, how they look. We've got a positive and negative side on there. We've got 1 volt there. If we want to change that 1 volt to something, we'll go over here to the wrench. Let's put it up to maybe 9 volts. Like we've got a 9-volt battery. All right. And then we want a resistor. This little squiggly line right here is a resistor. I'll touch the screwdriver, and I want to make it, let's make it 1. One on. Oops. Okay. Now all I have to do to connect it, I touch one node, touch the next, and so it's just connect the dots. Okay. Now, when I want to see what happens with that circuit, I can go down there to that play button, and it's going to show me what's going on in the time domain. Okay. And you can see that the 9 volts is coming out of the positive side right here, going through the resistor, and then coming back to the negative side. All right, so Benjamin Franklin proposed that that was the case, and that is not right. Okay, so engineers still use this because sometimes it's easier to think of in math, but in later times we found out that the electrons are actually the things moving through, and so we have a flow from negative to positive. Okay, now what we'll want to do when you get on here is, if the current, the little dots are flowing out of the positive side into the negative side, we want to go to our, let me fix this for just a second. Oops. We'll want to go up to settings from the main page, and there'll be a check mark by conventional current, and that's where current direction is opposite of electron flow. The math that we do in all of our classes right here are going to be based off of electrons being the things that move. So we're going to turn off conventional current. We'll go back in. I'm going to make a new circuit. I want to show you how quickly you can do it, right? Tap on something. It's going to put it in your work area. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Now we've got a complete circuit. We've got the ground, so we have a reference point on what we're measuring. And as that goes, it's still going in conventional. We'll look at that later. But really it should be going through out of the negative terminal into the positive terminal. But don't let that concern you too much. Just know that the current is a flow of electrons through that conductor. Okay. Now we've got 1 volt, 1 kilo ohm. I'm going to go back and fix that kilo ohm right now, and I'm going to put it down to 1 ohm. And if we got 1 volt going through 1 ohm, we have 1 amp. And so it'll measure that current going through there. And as we turn up the voltage and the current gets higher, the the little dots will speed up. We make the resistor heavier, so that it's like 10 ohms. Then less electrons can flow through there in a set amount of time, so it's going to slow down. Okay, so we're going to learn all of this, but this will be um, a great tool to use, even if we weren't dealing with COVID. So what I want to do right now is I want to go back and see if it did change. Huh, it's still conventional current. All right, so let me try that one more time. Make sure that I actually changed here. If your electrons are coming out of the positive, you want to go and change that so that it's coming out of the negative. All right, so I'll email the guy and see what's up with that. Oh, never mind, I won't email him. See this big old save button right here? I need to save it. Okay, so now if I go back in, I put it in. When I run it, we've got it coming out of the negative side. Okay, that it's not showing up great on the video, but it looks real smooth in real life. The reason it's not looking great is because we're dropping frames because we're streaming, and if you have something going